Yvette in North Houston, you're on, dear.
Hello, Michael. How are you?
Good.
Yeah. I know that your job is to persuade public opinion. And I like the way you just stretch the truth and stretch it to the bounds of imagination. I'm wondering...
What does that mean?
Hello?
What does that mean?
Well, I'll explain it to you during the course of our conversation. Have you saw...
There's a lot of big words being used. I'm uncomfortable.
Huh?
There's a lot of big words being used.
Yeah, well, I'd like to know if you've seen all those white crackheads over there on 1960 over there by Northwest. Hello?
White crackheads?
Yeah, it's a million of them running around over there, beating up on each other, doing the same thing that black crackheads do.
Well, let me be very clear, Yvette. No, hold on. Let me be very clear. If they're white crackheads, that's okay because I'm white, so I defend them.
Say what?
If they're white crackheads, that's okay because since I'm white, I think that behavior's fine. I hope the popo don't bother them.
Well, I'm just glad to know that our government is a equal opportunity drug dealer and distributor, because all these crackheads and things, ain't none of them got enough wherewithal or sense or the economics to bring drugs into this country.
No.
And since we have all these satellites surrounding this earth that correspond to all the electronic components, including our cell phones down here, which means that they know what's going on in this country and every other country.
Yes, they do.
And even with you.
Come on, keep it going. You on a roll.
Yeah. So, you know, but the notion that you take the worst of the black community and try to project that onto everyone and even stretch it up to the White House, to Obama, to imply that somehow he's incapable of leading this country is just appalling to me. But you do what you do. You are the modern-day Tokyo Rose, and I hope there are enough people out there who you take everything and politicize it. If you're a crackhead, it's got to be liberal Democrat. Well, I'm here to tell you, dear, that everybody, white, black, Asian, Indian, Iranian, everybody doesn't agree with you, but I know that's your job to get them to think to your point.
Now, you were on a roll, but I think most people do agree with me, really.
Well, you know, you
Iranians
throw away the notion that people shouldn't look back in the history. You can't see where you're going if you haven't looked and see where we've been.
Who's we?
And
Who's we?
The thing is that Congress is funded primarily off the top by every live birth in this country. Once a birth certificate is signed, you're giving that child up unknowingly because this was concocted by lawyers who we hold in self-esteem and keep sending to run our country.
Right, because
once
of the
you
satellites.
sign that birth certificate, you're giving that child over as a ward of the state declared legally of unsound mind.
Well, and you know what they're doing? They're harvesting the organs.
They'll still refer to you as. You're just the caretaker, and Congress is basically the trustee, and they borrow $1 million per live birth, and they put that on the stock market and convert you to a business through that birth certificate.
Right.
So now you have Hispanics who have the highest birth rate.
Right.
Who are funding Congress primarily. We've devalued ourselves by patterning ourselves after corrupt people that had already been oppressing us. And after the Civil War, blacks were needed to win the war because they had so many casualties on both sides. Neither side could claim victory.
Right. I
so
saw Morgan Freeman in Glory.
But also at the same time, racial hatred was being promoted between poor blacks and whites.
Right. Through
they
the
came
satellites.
up with the Freedmen's Bureau.
Right. Yep. No, you're right. You're right on most of you, especially the satellite
and
stuff.
So now, since you had the economic boycotts called by our so-called self-appointed leaders, Jesse Jackson and all of them, in the 80s, well, America said, well, forget that. So they went and started recruiting Hispanics. And they a new pool of paying debtors.
Right.
And they would, and just like you said, y'all bought Lee Brown here initially to the police department.
Right, with the satellites.
Minorities from filing racial suits against the city. You did the same thing at Metro. And you're trying to reserve all the available jobs for Hispanics because they are the new pool of paying debtors willing to get in debt because they haven't realized that the American dream is an American nightmare surrounded by debt that's holding up a system.
That's exactly right. With the satellite. Right. No,
and want to be able to charge through the yin-yang and pay less as possible. And that's all I got to say, Michael. Good night.
What do you mean? I mean, that's it and that's all. Peace. I'm out. Whoo, man. You know, it's kind of flattering. Everybody gets to make one call when they're booked. She said, you know what? To hell with all that. I ain't got no lawyer. I'm calling the Michael Berry Show. I'm going to have my say. Y'all can put me up in this place long as you want. But I'm going to have my say. Put me through, Chad Nakanishi. I don't know where you from trying to run this place with satellites beaming in, but they about to put me away. I'm going to have my say. And she did. Thank you very much. That was a tour de force of history, psychology, sociology, ologies that I didn't even know existed. There were some words thrown in there with multiple syllables that I did not realize. I didn't even know they were words. I'm sorry. I'm going to have to digest that one for a moment. Woo. Let me just say this. That phone call is a good example. If you have a relative that works in mental health, go home tonight and say, you know what? I'm sorry. You're right. When you get home, you don't want to be bothered.